Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's story is about traffic, the only thing in America that moves slower than YouTube after net neutrality is repealed. To put it simply, we have too much traffic.
Where we're seeing a much bigger than usual backup here for the westbound ride, and that certainly would explain the slow traffic.
It doesn't get any worse than this. A 12-mile stretch of red lights, crawling cars, and pure commuter agony.
Here in Black Rock and Salt Hill, both today and yesterday.
While some traffic congestion is inevitable in a system of mass transportation, it is certainly worsened by the poor choices in planning, infrastructure, and driving. Today, the problem has gone so bad, there's an average 250 million cars stuck in a road traffic throughout the day. Folks, I've only seen such startling numbers with the amount of cars leaving the Padres Stadium before the game starts. With so much traffic, car emissions can only worsen, as seen in this recent study. Vehicular pollution has skyrocketed. In fact, over 45 million Americans experience health problems from exposure to critical levels of road pollution and highway pollution each year. Not just that, but the resulting lengthy commutes dramatically reduce national productivity. Folks, that's insane. With all the money lost in greenhouse gases, spending a year in traffic is basically the equivalent of farting on $124 billion, then throwing it into a furnace and watching it burn. So how did the problem start? Quite simply, as many problems start today, companies wanted money. In the case of the traffic problem, it meant profiting off of a national highway system. In 1932, Ford, Toyota, Standard Oil, AAA, and General Motors formed the National Highway Users Conference, an organization better described as the nefarious highway usurping cult. These companies seem to be driven by the noble goals of building an American infrastructure, although their core mission was really to shift the mass market towards gas and private automobiles. All they needed was wily, cunning, evil monster and power to help pass legislation. But they got Eisenhower instead. It still worked out, however. Eisenhower's brainchild, the Federal Highway Act of 1956, gave these companies $25 billion worth of tax money, or in today's money, a whopping $225 billion for connecting American cities with highways. That amounted to 90% of the cost of building the national highway system. As for the other 10%, state taxes paid for it. As Eisenhower's legislation continued to troll taxpayers, new highways were being built all over America. With the new supply of roads for transportation, coincidentally, there was a dramatic increase in private automobiles. Well, maybe not the Chevy Avalanche. Studies show that the number of automobile registrations rose from 6.7 million in 1919 to over 26 million in 1939. With the number of registered cars steadily rising to over 200 million in the US from the 1940s to the early 2000s, cities started using more taxpayer money to build new infrastructure to reduce traffic congestion, things like freeway-to-freeway interactions involving merging lanes, sharp curves, steep grades. However, these interactions often added physical restrictions, creating bottlenecks that caused traffic to become even worse. Let's go to one of our agents to learn more about these bottlenecks.
Hey guys, it's Cameron here. We're just getting on the 163 North from Park Boulevard in downtown San Diego. And if you can see to our left, we have two lanes over here. And those lanes, look at the arrows, are eventually going to merge. And then if you look ahead, you're going to see those two lanes in front of us are going to merge with our lane. And so, because of the poor infrastructure of this highway on-ramp, it causes unnecessary traffic jams at all times of day. If you can see ahead on the 163 North, the traffic is moving fine. It's not stopped at all. It's only the on-ramp that's stopped because of this poor design. And if you keep looking ahead, there's another two lanes in front of us that are also going to merge with this lane. That means 5 lanes will merge into one lane. That causes insane traffic jams right here in San Diego. This jam is almost as bad as the line of high school girls trying to get Starbucks on a late day. And I would know. Back to you, Jay.
Thanks, Cameron. So such a massive bottleneck problem on our hands, let's check out what those geniuses in our government did to solve it. They took Samsung's advice to heart. Bigger is better. They built bigger highways and added lanes to the old ones. But like Samsung, they realized that such a plan would blow up. While this next example is from China, it points to the same problems caused by the American infrastructure.
This mother of all traffic jams was created in China on August 14, 2010. It lasted 12 days with a huge car panorama that stretched for more than 62 miles or 100 kilometers.
Adding more lanes does not make traffic better. It's like saying adding more hosts will make this show better.
Speaking of traffic, a study published by the California Department of Transportation explains that adding more lanes creates more capacity or volume on highways, allowing for more cars to congest them at any given time.
Dude, that's literally what you're doing to the show right now. Well, as more cars are drawn to a volume, they start to compete and, oh god, for a spot, slowing everything down. We good now?
Yeah, but the city of LA isn't. Reports have confirmed that LA has experienced greater congestion after its $1 billion lane extension of the I-405 freeway. But there is hope for all those poor souls battling the congestion there. Any day that there's an LA Charger game.
We can expect similar increases in congestion here in San Diego, if the lane widening on Camino del Sur is completed. Sure, the construction is coming up on its second birthday and it's basically just a dozen cones on the road. But just a few days ago, real lane work has actually begun, meaning that there could be worse traffic during morning commutes. Ugh. The government doesn't just do a poor job with traffic infrastructure, but also with the DMV. Yes, I know, it's literally run by animals. With over 130 million licenses being given out each year, the DMV standard for driver's ed has plummeted. The prerequisites for getting a license these days have gotten disturbingly easy. You pay $20 to click through an online course and take a test, which requires a minimal effort to actually learn something. In fact, if little old Johnny needs a bit more help with his DMV learning, he can search up on the DMV's website their frequently asked questions, and at the top of the page, look what he finds. They're not even trying to teach drivers anything anymore. Just look.
The DMV sells answers to its own tests. That's literally the equivalent of the DMV handing unqualified drivers their licenses. This actually happened just a few months ago here in California, where, quote, a few DMV employees would change department records to reflect that drivers had passed written and driving tests, when, in fact, these drivers may have failed or not taken the tests at all.
And this is just the start. We haven't even got to the actual driving test yet. Drivers are able to miss up to 15 points on the driver's test, so long as you don't make any critical errors, which, by the way, there are only 8. You can literally take 5 necessary steps, 5 wide turns, and 5 lane changes without a signal. And you can still pass the test. You know, just as long as you don't hit the curb when pulling out of the parking lot. To put it simply, without adequate driver's ed and test enforcement, today's drivers are much less prepared for real road conditions. For an example, let's take a look at the Westview parking lot.
Despite all of this, the DMV maintains that you have to be mentally prepared for different traffic conditions. But how can the DMV say that if they're not enforcing it? As published by Geico Insurance, there are many common bad driving practices that slip past driver's ed, including tailgating, spontaneous lane switching without indicators, and even speeding. In a congested environment, these perturbations can cause ripples of traffic to be formed, as explained in this video.
Driver crossing lanes quickly with cars too close behind is enough to birth a traffic snake that lives for hours and leagues. It's this quick crossing that causes drivers behind to overbrake and begin a chain reaction.
Not to mention, as published by this road safety study, these perturbations in traffic increase the likelihood of car crashes, which is linked to the 2016 annual average of 37,000 traffic-related deaths. So poor driving not only contributes to major increases in traffic jams, but also kills thousands of Americans each year.
But no, America continues not to fix the plague of traffic. So as long as Congress continues to pump out crappy infrastructure, the DMV continues to screw over drivers' ed, and drivers continue to make poor choices, we'll have 6 fundamental rights as citizens of the United States. The right to free speech, religion, press, assembly, petition, and now the right to traffic. Lucky for you folks, there's a new product to help you exercise your right to traffic. Here's a word from one of our sponsors.
Hello there. Do you get angry when you have to sit in traffic? Does the sight of cars lined up for miles make your head spin? Well, I have a solution for you. Introducing Beep Buddy, a new way for you to make friends on the freeway. Your horn only has one distinct sound, a sound that every car has. Now, with Beep Buddy, you can customize your own distinct horn sound with our revolutionary app-to-vehicle communication software. You speak into your phone what you would like your horn to say, press the magic button, and your words will be projected for other drivers to hear. If you can think it, they can hear it. The Beep Buddy has the power to revolutionize driver-to-driver communication. For only $19.99 plus shipping and handling, you can own this feat of technological greatness. And if you buy one, you can get another for free. Just call in the next 3 seconds. Just remember, Beep Buddy, your way to make friends on the freeway. Warning, the Beep Buddy is not responsible for any vehicular or personal injuries it incurs, including but not limited to broken rib, broken fist, broken face, broken nose, broken arm, or broken relationships.